Okay, part 2. Elston Gunn was a name, as we know. I haven't read any of Bob Dylan's autobiographies. Don't know why. I just haven't. And I know he's written a little bit about it. I think I did a little bit of research on the internet, and one of his very first names he used in high school was Elston Gunn when he was performing, and he only used it for a very, very short time, because I believe he only used it because for that short time, because it was when he really decided that he wanted to express what was in his mind and his empathetic view of the world through song. And but then he saw that to do that he would have to lose his freedom, and to me that's the crossroads of a musician, is once signing a contract. People don't understand how much they lose their freedom. Like when I went to university, we were first taught that Bob Dylan didn't like his first album he released. I don't know if that's true or not, and I can understand that to a degree, because you're not coming in. I've got a puppy scratching on the door, because once you hand your words or your songs are your babies in a way for a songwriter. They're like when I write a poem or something, they're like my view on life in a way, if I write a story or something. They're like these videos in a way. In these videos are my thoughts, my personal thoughts on what my views of the world, and what I see outside my door. So he only used Elston Gunn for a short time, and for me that was because he realised that if he was going to pursue a career in music, he'd have to sacrifice the one thing he's trying to sing about, and that was freedom of choice, freedom of life, caretaking, looking after each other. Because once you sign that contract, you lose your freedom of life in a way, and you have so many people involved in your life making decisions for you, but you're put on a pedestal as the role model, but you're not at that age. In a way, when I started going to university, I think I did an essay on how I believed a touring singer-songwriter like Bob Dylan and a lot of others who truly are empathetic in their songwriting and don't sing for the fame side and the mockery and the manipulation that Elston Gunn, to me, has produced. This is a hard one. I always consider them to be like homeless people in a way, because here in Australia, when you have difficulties in your life and you have no family support, we're supposed to have a great system of social networking, where our society helps each other grow. But once you go into that system and you sign your name, you become a number, and so many people decide what happens with your life, and you lose your life. So to me, a singing, touring musician is a lot like that. And from going through life, we start to grow and learn what we are. Because when we're born, we're just babies, and we're just learning life. We're learning life to the day we're born. We're teachers and students to the day we are born. We are carers or destroyers until the day we die. From the day we're born to the day we die. And that's the meaning of life, is what we give and take in society. and what we bring to the community. And what got, I think, majorly got Bob Dylan and a lot of singer-songwriters in trouble was, like, my children's father always talks about, he doesn't like Bob Dylan much, he talks about how Bob Dylan made a deal with the devil, and that's how he wrote his songs, and that's how he can write songs so quickly, that's how he can record songs so quickly. Yeah, in a way he did. He made a deal with the devil by signing that contract, because who are the game players? Who are the pawns? Whose game is this? By him signing that contract, a lot of people turned and owned Bob Dylan and didn't personally experience the person who is Bob Dylan, because when it came to interviews and stuff like that, yeah, he did respond in a way any person at his age would respond, to the disrespect he was given, but not in his songs. And no one knows what Bob Dylan's like in real life. I don't. No one does. Which is sad to say, because he shut himself off to the world, because he was criticised and judged, and people haven't got time to hear what all these songs are really meaning. And then once he does say one thing, they're going to take a little bit of that saying and put it into another different context. Or, one of my pet peeves is when you're trying to talk about something and someone interrupts you while you're talking about it and tries to make it sound like you're saying something else, and then sometimes you can react in a way that gets into a huge argument and the whole story gets lost. So we don't treat each other very nicely. So we are the game players and the pawns. Just like shelter from the storm, we can be the shelter or the storm. And I think Elston Gunn is a representation of the nasty side of our life. How we can be unkind, how we can abuse kindness, how we can use the words of kindness to suck someone in and take whatever we want from them because they don't expect it because we're too nice. And by doing that over the years, we've totally lost trust in each other. So I think to bring times of changing in life back, we need to start speaking up. We need to start saying, no, this is not right. This is not right. We have a leader who teaches our children it's okay to hate. It's okay to divide yourself. It's not right we have, as a world, a UN, a place where we can go and talk, but we still have wars. It's not right where we have leaders that say they represent us, but they don't listen to us. It's not right at an individual scale that we put our suffering onto others, because that's what Elston Gunn is all about. He's about putting his suffering onto others and laughing about it. And to me that was Bob's little way of experimenting with what would happen when his music came out. And it's not a good name, because it was, I think, by when you look at the albums he produced after that, like Times Are Changing, not long after that, you can tell, in a way, of his hope, but also his sorrow that people won't join together and people won't work together and they will keep living on their pedestals. And now we've come to a stage where we've got to stop playing the blame game, open up our shame and realise that none of us is better than the other. Stop mocking each other and try and build a better future for our children, because that's the only way. Because if you look at the Bible, and if you look at all the religious texts over the years, if you're waiting for a God or a Messiah or someone, that's for my next album. That's for the next 2 albums I'm doing. I can't speak about that now because that's for the next ones. So really, I think when you look at Lord of the Flies and you look at Only a Pawn in Their Game, if you look at ancient societies, they're not as savage as what we used to think. History and technology is showing, and archaeology and all that showing us now, it's actually showing maybe we're a little bit more savage than them. It just shows that communities fall down when people don't work together uniquely, and they fall down when people try and be common and seek that fame and seek that money and seek that glory, because the only glory on this earth is looking after each other and looking after our home, our big blue home. And that's just it. And when you look at a pawn in our game, our natural animal instincts aren't to hurt each other. That's why we get sick. That's why we get hurt. That's why we turn to substances to try and run away, because we're not meant to hurt each other. We're meant to care. And that's what I believe anyway. So for me, Only a Pawn in Their Game, yeah, you could say it's the banks, you can say it's a conspiracy, you can say it's this and that, but it's like Masters of Wars. We're all the masters if we don't stand up. We're all part of the game if we don't stand up. We're all pawns if we don't stand up to what's right. And what's right is living a life and not letting another suffer for that life. And that's just simple. So, thank you for listening. And, gee, no one's commenting, so I don't know what to think. Should I do my next one or not? Or is that it with Bob Dylan? Let me know. Bye, everyone.